to record. Yes, we're recording. Okay, so are you all sopranos? You can be one or two, but you just have to be soprano. Yeah, nobody's wandered in mistakenly. I mean, not that it matters, because you can, as I say, when you're muted, you can sing along anyway to anything, can't you? So, okay, so obviously you will have noticed this time that we're not counting in with Simon. Simon counts and we have to clap. Okay. I don't know about you, but the clap is causing me real nightmare problems, because I look like some strange sea lion when I'm doing it. So yeah. But the clap is because apparently it's much easier to put all of the tracks together with just one spike on the screen rather than the counting. So that's why we've gone to the clap rather than the counting. So even if you don't want to listen to the whole introduction and you want to fast forward it a little bit, practice the clap before you do that, okay, so that it becomes second nature, so that when you do your recording it doesn't take you by surprise with the nerves and everything else. So I would say put the clap in, and then if you want to move it on to when we start, you can. And we start at 1 minute 20. Yep, so if you want to write that down when we come in 1 minute 20, then if you do want to find a particular bit, you can just slide it along and find it. Okay, so let's quickly just make sure you've got the breathing in the right place. Yep, I would imagine that by now you probably all have, but let's make sure. So we're going, and oh, breathe, someone will come running, breathe, and I know, breathe. Now, somebody did ask me in one of the sessions if you do actually have to breathe between running and I, because it's not very long, it's a tiny little space. You don't have to breathe, but you do have to put a gap there. So you need to go, someone will come running, and I know. There has to be a definite gap, but you don't necessarily have to go, and I know. If you don't, you won't need to breath-wise, because you've only got to sing those 3 notes before you get another breath. But there does need to be a gap. So it's important that you remember the gap. So maybe mark it there. So you don't need to actually breathe, but there does need to be a gap. So someone will come running, gap, and I know, breathe, they'll take you home, breathe. So in that first line, we've got quite a lot of breaths, okay? Carrying on with the breathing. Even when the dark comes crashing through, breathe. When you need a friend to carry you, breathe. And when you're broken on the ground, breathe, you will be found, okay? So let the sun come streaming in, breathe, because you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Breathe, lift your head and look around, breathe, you will be found, breathe, you will be found, breathe, you will be found, breathe, you will be found. Boom, and then we've got just about 5 bars rest. Okay, so the breathing plan up to there is basically wherever there's a gap, you breathe. And they are prescribed breaths by Simon, and I think everybody's breathing at the same time. So they do need to be there. Even if you think, I can sing those 2 lines because my breathing's good, don't do it. Put the breaths in. Okay. The only thing in this first page that's tricky, I think the most tricky, are the low notes. For us, for sopranos, it is very low. It's very low, but everybody's singing it, including the tenors and the basses. So if you can't get down there, it doesn't matter. Somebody else will be covering it. You're not going to leave a gaping hole. Nobody's going to notice if we don't sing it. Okay. But what you just have to be careful about is how you handle the not singing it. Okay. You can't just not sing it. So you can't do, and I don't know if I'm on the right pitch, but hey ho. And when you're broken on the, you will be, you can't do that. You need to breathe out on the word you're missing out, so that you can breathe back in when everybody else breathes. So that we've got this breathe together, sing together mentality. So you need to go, and when you're broken on the, you will be found. Okay, so if you're missing it out, breathe out on it. So you breathe through where the note would have been, and then you can breathe back in the right place. That's what I would say. I would say push yourselves a little bit and try and get down there. I mean, when it gets to recording day, if it's ghastly and you can't do it, don't do it. But in practice sessions, try practicing it. Won't hurt any of us to stretch our voices either way a little bit. Yeah, don't push it, don't force it. But if you can get down there, you'll probably find you can do more than you think you can. The problem is when you've been singing down there, the problem is then to get back up when you get towards the end of it, isn't it? That's what I find. But this does start low, moves up a bit again. So it's generally moving up, and so you should be all right. It's when I've sung high, I have a real problem to sing low again. But as I say, this moves through, so you should be okay. Okay, so we're coming in on the and O as just sort of, it's not pushed, it's not over the top, it's not quiet, but it's sort of middle of the road. And you need to be thinking, when you get into performance sessions, that people are going to ask you to think about, who are you singing to? Somebody? Are you, or is somebody maybe singing it to you? You've got to start placing yourself in the song, okay? This is only my opinion, and this is not for anybody to actually have to take away and do. I think in this bit that that if you're telling somebody, you're telling one person, it's quite small, it's quite intimate, and that will affect how you deliver it. Because if you're singing to one person, it's going to be a lot gentler than if you're standing there singing this great big anthem to the world. Okay, so have a little think. Because you will get asked who you are singing to. This little beginning bit, I have a feeling that I'm reading a letter. So somebody's telling me that I'll be found, and I'm reading it a letter, so it's quite insular. And then in a bit, I'm going to go and tell my friend the good news that will be found, sort of thing. And that's how I'm building it up. And then when I get to the end, I'm telling everybody and the grandmother that this message about being found. So it's whatever works for you, but there's a definite build through this piece of it getting to be more people involved as you go through. The other thing to think about is that what are we talking about? Who is going to pick us up? Who is going to find us? Yeah, think in your own heads. Is it a friend? Is it family? Is it the collective? Is it some higher being that we can't see? They're all questions that you're going to get nudged to answer in the performance sessions, where you are if you come into mine. And Rhiannon's as well, I think. I think she's pushing the who are you singing to bit quite big. So there are things to think about. And when you know that in your head, it will make a difference to the sort of dynamic that you put in. Because if you're intimately telling your friend, you're not going to be going, you will be found. You're not going to be doing that. It's going to be a lot gentler and a lot more intimate. So even though this isn't a performance session, it's all so inextricably linked that you've got to think a little bit about it in order to put some dynamics in. Okay, so let us have a little sing through that first bit, and then if you've got any questions at the end of it, you can ask me. Now I've not done this yet, shared anything. I've already shared the sound, so I should be able to just click on it and do that. Put your thumbs up when you can hear something.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yay. In this beginning bit, listen to the words that you're not singing, because you need to be engaging with them. Don't be doing your shopping list. Be focused on the song.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be home. 'Cause when you feel lonely enough to and someone will come running, and I know will take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Okay, so that's all pretty straightforward apart from the low notes. When we do the "So Let the Sun Come Streaming In," the instruction from Simon is blossom. So that means, I think, be a little bit more confident in that bit, and you will get a little bit more of a swell and a little bit more volume. I don't suddenly go loud, but definite feeling of opening out and you know, sort of relaxing into it a little bit more. And then he said, on "Lift Your Head and Look Around," he said smile. So again, it's all brightening up. You started off a little bit sort of insular, a little bit introverted, and you're starting to come out of yourselves a little bit now. So that little swelling volume on the smile. And then on the "You Will Be Found," bar 35, 36, bar 36 into 37, that needs to grow. You will be found. Yeah, so grow through that. And then the next one, "You will be found," the instruction is proud. So again, it's just getting that little bit bigger and that little bit more confident every time. Okay. Any questions up to there? Yay, this is what we like.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't say the round because it's too low, do you say around, or you like? Can I say the or should I just give up the whole word?
That's a very, very good question. Lift your head and look around. Head and look around. You could put the in. Yeah, you could put the in and then breathe out on the round and breathe back in. The important thing about that is the coming back in, rather than the bit before. It's the breathing out to breathe back in and come back in. That's the important thing. So it's up to you. I would put the in, but you don't have to. Yeah, but I'm more concerned that you breathe back in the right place. That's a good question, that round. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'll get asked that again, I'm sure now. Okay, any other questions? No? Fab. Okay, let us carry on. So we're now, this next bit, bar 47, if you're interested, is 2 minutes 30. Okay, so if you're trying to find this bit, to practice this bit, 2 minutes 30. Now this vowel on this, it's not R anymore, it's changed the R, so cross the R out, and it's O, but it's a bit, if you're from England, it's a Yorkshire O. So it's a flat, quite a nasty O. Or, it's almost or. If I was to talk in my native tongue and say, "Oh my goodness," "Oh my goodness," that's how I'd say, "Oh my goodness," it's that "oh" for 3 bars, and then in the last bar and a half, you turn it to an R. So it goes, "oh." Yeah, and as you do the R, the sound needs to come forward, because when you do that flat northern "or," you'll feel it's quite a long way back, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But when you turn it to the R, it needs to come forward. So if you want to write the word, I mean, one of the other girls who's from a posher place than me, she wrote AW, or AW, like that. That's another way to do it. Or OR, although that will give you, you might try and put the R on there. There's no diphthong in a Yorkshire O. It's just or. There's no diphthong on the end, okay? Or, and turn it into an R. Does that make any sense at all? Yeah? Good. If you want to go and watch Full Monty, they've all got an accent like me. So if you want to go and watch that and get some idea how to say it, but no, you don't get told to do it Yorkshire in many times. So I'm making the most of this. I'm making sure everybody knows that's a Yorkshire O. Okay, so on the R, when you've turned it to the R, it needs to brighten up and lighten up, and it'll do that because the sound will come forward and it'll sound a little less heavy, and it'll brighten. And if you smile as you turn it into the R, lift your eyebrows, the whole thing will move forward, the whole thing will brighten without you really having to worry about it. Okay, there's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. This is a new bit of melody. It doesn't come anywhere else. It's just this little bit. And the feeling of it is a sort of kick, a little bit kicked into a bit more of excitement now. We've done all the bit of the reflective bit. This is a little bit more exciting. It needs to have a feeling of moving forward, and your volume will increase a little bit, and the intensity will certainly increase. This sort of excited feeling. There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. every time that you call out, and if you listen, you'll hear that Simon puts not quite and, almost and every time. It's almost ND or even just a D, and every time. Yeah. So it's not and, but there's a definite half a word before he says it. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. So just put yourself some sort of note that puts that is representative of the word and. Okay. And then we've got 2 bars rest. From across the silence, and there's a breath there, your voice is heard. That will be the one you try and sing through. Actually, let me just do the breath on that. The O and the R is all in one. There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. Breathe. And every time you call out, breathe. You're a little less alone. Breathe. 2 bars rest. From across the silence, breathe. Your voice is heard. Breathe. Okay? And then this is easy because you've got a note and a bars rest, a note and a bars rest. So that's easy. But when we come in at bar 60 on the O, and we're normal O now, we've gone back to the real world. We've left Yorkshire behind us, sadly. And so it's an ordinary O. And that needs to be soft on bar 60. And then when we do the second one on bar 62, it's a little bit louder. Okay, so it's building. First one quiet, second one a bit louder. And then the breathing on the next one, it's oh, breathe, someone will come running, oh, oh, and there's no breath between running and oh. You have to do that straight through. So put yourselves a little umbrella or something and an NB in red so you don't breathe there. But you do breathe after that O before someone will come running. So you need to cut the O a little bit short in time, enough time to get a breath. So you make it last for 3.5 and breathe on the half so that you can come back in. Oh, breathe. Someone will come running. Oh, no breath. It's important that. Okay? Everybody understand? Carla has her hand up. Yes, my lovely.
Yeah, the O is longer than is written. There is a piece that bleeds into the.
Yes, it does. He.
Okay.
It's written as a semi-breathe, but he carries on and he does. I think he does 6 counts. So he just then breathes on the actual written crotchet rest before he comes in on take you home. Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes. Take you home. No, we're not doing that one. I'm ignoring me. Ignore me. We've got
68. Bar 68.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take you home. Is that the one you meant?
No, bar 68. There are several in this score, but this is the one that we were come running. Oh, that's a long O, and it goes all the way.
Yeah.
Okay. I've missed
he
that
does
one.
a
The one
breath.
I'm talking about, which is in the
Well,
next
there are
section.
several more later, but this is the one that we were talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about the one in 68, 69. I was talking about the one in 71 because that carries right through into the next bar.
Yeah, also.
So.
Right.
But the mantra is go with the track. So if the track lasts longer than the music does, go with the track. Yeah, he does quite a few little quirky things that aren't scored. That some of them you need to take notice of the note values, and others are a little bit of a stylistic thing that aren't too much to worry about. Beth.
Yes. There's a new upload of the second part with the red markings in it. And that's really helpful. So everybody should go download that. From
okay.
Yeah.
I would say every time you go on, have a quick look because there's all sorts of new things that sneak in.
Right.
So so always have a look because it's a live link. So any updates will be in there. Keep checking if there's any new scores because as people pick things up in sessions and add them on and then post them, you'll be able to all take advantage of them. Valerie.
Do you know there's going to be a conductor video?
Yeah. Don't ask me when. I can't answer that, but yeah, hopefully before you need to record next week for your feedback, hopefully. He tends to just have a whole day and he tends to just knock them all out. So I think they'll probably be there shortly. But yeah, if you're new and you've not seen the conductor videos, they're great. There's those little videos are in at the moment. You know where the line, you follow our line along. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
They're really good. They're really good
Yeah.
because you can see every little thing he does because it's all marked. So if you're thinking, I'm not quite, does he sing another note that I can't see? Does he come off there or does he come off a count later? It's really, really clear to see. So if you can sort of get your head up from your music enough to look at those, they're really, really worth a bit of time. It's very good. And it gets you used to lifting your head up because we're all still doing this, aren't we? We're all still singing in this awful position with our heads down because it's tricky and we don't want to put the music down. So if you can have a look at those video tracks, it'll get your head up in the right place. The other thing, what Rhiannon does, she pins her music above her so that she's got to look up at the music. So that's another tip. If you've got anywhere you can pin it, she pins it to the cooker when she does a recording because she records in the kitchen. So she pins her music to the cooker hood. So that's not a bad shot. If you've got a music stand or anything that you can put behind your screen, it's not a bad shout really to get us used because this is so bad for your singing, looking down at the music. But we all do it. I've got my music down flat on my desk, which is so bad. But do as I say, not as I do, and then we'll all be all right. Okay, so let's.
Can I just ask something?
Of course you can.
Yeah, it's just a technical thing, really. When you've got.
You're going to ask me a technical question.
I get a distorted sound when you have muted yourself.
Do you?
Yeah.
Me.
But when you're unmuted and you put the sound through, I can hear it all right, and I don't know why that is. Very weird.
Yeah, I've got no idea, and Ian's gone.
Yeah,
but I won't mute myself in that case, and I just will remember not to sing, because what you really don't want, because of the lag, you don't want me bawling out the line 2 beats behind you. It's really not good for anybody. So if I remember not to sing, then I won't mute myself, and I've never come across that. So
it might be my end, but
we don't go in other people's sessions because we haven't got time. Do you know what I mean? We just haven't got time when we're running our own. So I don't know what happens really from your end. I don't really see anybody else's muting and sound or anything. So I ought to try and get in. I go to some of the educational ones, but we don't sing along with those so much. So okay, I suggest we sing it from the beginning to there, unless anybody else has got any questions. No, let's sing it through again and see if it throws anything up this time. Are you all muted? Yes, you are. And you see, because I can see my track, because my screen's like the cinema, I haven't got to keep going back to I can just keep doing that and then pressing it again. Fab. Get ready to clap.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Start working out who's singing at the beginning. Are they singing to you? Start thinking about it in your own head.
Felt like nobody was there. Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
So this is where you need to start paying attention, start thinking about your breathing, and start getting yourselves ready to come in.
And someone will come running, and I know will take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around.
Okay, anything cropping up? Anything making you question anything you're doing? No?
No, that was great, and thank you very much for it worked for me. I could hear properly this time.
I'm glad, and I managed
Brilliant.
not to sing. Did you know I managed to have to keep biting my tongue, but I managed not to sing. So that was good.
That was great, thank you.
Good, you're very welcome. Any little things like that you've noticed, please feel free to tell us, because like I say, we often don't know what's going on from your side at all. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. If you have no questions, then I think we sing it all the way through, even though we're not supposed to be doing part 3. Let's sing it all the way through. Can I just ask, do you all like it? Does anybody not like it? No, it's fab, isn't it? What a great choice of song. Great choice, great arrangement, great spirit about it. And I think for me, this is about the collective for me. This is what this is about. It's about this most miserable of times where we thought at the beginning that I felt like my life had ended overnight, because I sing all the time, or I go to Zumba class, or I do something every evening. I'm never in the house. And all of a sudden it stopped, and I thought that my world had ended. And I thought there was only me that felt like that. That was the first thing. I thought nobody understands. And then you realise, oh, everybody feels the same. Everybody, and now you realise it's not just singers. The whole world is feeling. I have a friend who plays in brass bands, and because she can't play and she's missing it. So for me, I don't need to dig very far to find the feelings for this, because to me it's about the collective and what it's done for me and what it's saved me from, quite honestly, in these dark times. So I'm finding it not difficult. I'm finding it difficult not to, lose it every time. That's what I'm struggling to do, struggling to keep it together, because I'm a bit of a crier at the best of times. There's no two ways about it. So that's my challenge, is to not fall over the edge of Simon's cliff, because he always says you put your toes over the edge but don't fall, and I'm a bit of a toppler, I'm afraid. So yeah. Simon's doing an education tomorrow night at 6:30 our time, all about performing and about how to go to the edge of the cliff and how not to fall over. So if you can get into it, you might find it quite interesting. I'd take tissues, but yeah, I think you might find it quite interesting to go into there. So let's go right to the beginning again, and you really need to be engaging with those words. You can't hear them that well, so what you need to do is have a look at the full score and see what those first 15, 20 bars are about, because you need to be engaging with that. You can't just sit there for 20 till bar 23 and then expect to be able to come in with the right feeling, because you won't. Okay, so you need to get yourselves into the spirit a little bit earlier, well, from the beginning. It's so funny to watch you do that clap. Because of the lag, you all clap at different times and it looks like you've got no sense of rhythm whatsoever. It's brilliant. Maybe you haven't got any sense of rhythm. Who am I to judge? So here we go.
Debbie,
Yeah,
just before you do, maybe you don't know yet, but when we do video for this, will we only video from when we come in, or will we video ourselves from the very beginning?
Well, you won't video yourselves. We'll be doing it for you. We'll be video Zoom sessions. It'll be like this. We'll be videoing things like this. So you won't do it yourself. You're only doing an audio. And I would imagine that we'll do it from the beginning, but I'm guessing. I don't know. But you won't need to worry. You'll just need to turn up at an appointed time and somebody will sort you out and do it for you.
Thanks.
I don't know yet how it'll be. Maybe it'll be voice parts. We've no idea, because we've got to do, what have we got to do? One voice. We've not recorded one voice yet, video wise. So we're a video behind at the moment. So yeah, I don't know, but don't worry. You won't have to worry about the technical things. We'll be doing that. God help us. Right, I'm pressing it again.
1, 2, 3, 4. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be fine. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be fine. You will be fine. You will be fine. You will be fine. There's a place where we don't have to feel alone. Every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. From across the silence, your voice is heard. Someone will come running. Take you home. Take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you rise again. If you only look around, you must be fine. You will be out of the shadows. Morning is breaking and all is new. All is new. Filling up the empty, suddenly you see that all is new. All is new. You were not alone. 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 You were not You will be fine.
And we're about to run out of time any minute now. Thank you, ladies. See you soon.